Alright, I'm back again. So we're back into the Reliant now. I'm going to try to put on... I'm going to start with the top nacelle decals because even when the ship is upside down, when I do the bottom ones, the top won't touch. So let me find decal number 145 and see where I can go from there. Those should be on the Aztec column, so they should be, maybe they're, let's see here. There's 145, and there's the other one. Okay, so let me cut them out into their respective sections because I'm going to have to make it sectional to get them in place with the struts already attached. Alright, so with a little bit of luck, I managed to get the first decal in place. Let me zoom in a bit and you can see. So it aligns itself with the very end of the teardrop shape. There's a certain segment that goes on the teardrop shape, but that's made up of another decal, R144. So right now I'm going to put on the back end of this. Leave it zoomed in for now so that you can see everything. It's probably the best way to go about it. And at 9 o'clock I'm going away because it's a debate. Now putting on decal 144 isn't going to interfere with the application of these either. So if I can find it, I can put it in place. Well, I see one of them already. There it is. Right there. That's one of them. Just got to find the other one that matches its appearance. So I'll be back once I found it. There you go. There is the other 144 piece. So now I have both of them. I'm going to put them on the tiny teardrop section of each nacelle before I try to apply 145 on the port nacelle, and we'll see how it looks when I'm done. Best part about the teardrop thing, it has accounted for the blockage of the nacelle strut to make sure that it doesn't go any further than that. And I don't know where the decal is. It'll go along here. Maybe it's along the side and they meet at the navigation light. I'm not sure. That's probably it. You can see in the picture the two teardrop segments on the ship itself. Now we go for the port nacelle top sections. And of course I am going to do the cut right where they meet at that teardrop section there. And make sure that they can feed around it appropriately. So I cut it right there. That's the back section. It goes on by itself, and that's the easiest portion. This is the second easiest portion because it's on the outside of the nacelle and it goes right up to there. The inner part right here, that's the hardest part because it goes on the inner nacelle and you're going to have to prop it up on something, the entire ship, just to get it in place so that you're not putting it on blind and risking it folding over on itself. I managed to get the other nacelles piece unfolded, thankfully, and stuck on in approximately the proper position. So I'm going to count on the same kind of luck with this one, minus the folding over part because I want to be able to see it the entire time I'm putting it in place. So, here we go. And that's the inner nacelle portion. You can tell because it has this notch at the end where it fits right there. So we're going to have to prop this thing up and go from there. So I will be back when that's applied. So it's propped up like this, which should be the way to access the nacelle without it moving. We'll find out. Well, it's not perfect, but it's on there enough. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. There. Inner edge of the nacelle, it's on there. So now you have to join up the other side, which will be a lot easier because it goes on the outside. And keep that in mind. Do everything in sub-assemblies. Even if you risk an Aztec decal by assembling it with the model glue and everything, do it in sub-assemblies. Do not, like I did with the Enterprise A, the 537, and it turned out just fine. Of course, I didn't use Aztec decals on it because I didn't have none. I painted the panels myself by hand with the Martha Stewart Pearl paint, so there were no Aztec decals to disturb. Now the Enterprise refit, on the other hand, it went together just fine. I was able to access every part of it, even when fully assembled. The Reliant is just trickier in that regard, that's all. Now, here's the outer edge. So that's going to be a lot easier to put in place because you don't have any thing in the way. Like in the cell strut, you can just bring the water all the way up. There you go, and it'll go right up to that point. Yeah, so I'll be back. You can see here on the steps, it says, ooh, apply decal. Ooh. Apply decal 141 before adding the pylon. Well, you see the trapezoidal shape where it fits, and you see the shape behind the decal, behind the pylon, right there. But this missing section can be used to do repair work on any decal that's missing, even if the pattern isn't identical. So I don't consider that a mistake per se. I consider it an accidental saving grace. Well, we're about to find out. Here, I'm going to take the chance and put a decal on camera. So let me bring this over. And let's see how we do here. So we need more water, of course. There you go. Yep. And this should slide off. Now I always slide it off by the thickest end first. So there we go. Attached. And carefully pull. It's holding, it's holding, it's holding. Now you may have to nudge it backwards a bit. Just a bit. There you go. Nudge, 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 nudge. Okay. Wet again. Complete wet. And then you should be able to slide it back in segments, a bit at a time. See, like that. Good, good, good. Keep going. There you go. Perfect. That's it right there. So from that point now, you use the toilet paper first, blot it down. Then you take the micro sol and you apply it like so. You apply it that way as well. And there you go. Okay, so now you can say that that decal is firmly applied. All you have to do is put on its back section now. So we color the guide accordingly, all the way up to the splinter point, which is right there. And then we put on the remaining back section, which will fit on like a teardrop shape right there. So I'll be back when that's done. All right, so letting the decal soak for a bit before I put it in place. I may paint the end lights white before I apply the side nacelle decals, because I think the next thing to do when everything's dry is to apply the pylon decals and the ones right along here. Now there's going to be a missing section where I can do a bit of patchwork there. So it'll all work out. So let's see how this works here. Come on, come off the backing paper. Ooh, careful now. Do not have a wrinkle in the decal. Come off. Hey, there's an idea. Sliding off that way. Okay. All right, good. Let's see here. I got to be able to see it to know whether it's working properly or not. That's pretty good. Brush. Brush, brush, brush. Get all the wrinkles out. There you go. There you are. Yep. Now you use the toilet paper again. There you are. There you go. It's just on the teardrop section. It's not really spilling over anywhere else. Then you use the microset sol on the teardrop section only. There you are. There you go. So that is something you now leave alone. But I do see another section that could take a decal, and that's the top of the roll bar here. So I'll be back with that. You can see how the top of the roll bar is actually made up of several decals. And some of them are going to go over the iridescent, so we can see if you can still see it through the roll bar decals. So let me find the 159 through 163. There are in the instructions. If they want to have the gray rectangle slot pointing towards the back of the decal, you have to have 162 here and 160 on that side. 161 should still be okay because that's the central portion, and how do you mess up the central portion? So let's see here. That is the smaller piece. Yes, there we go. Okay, here we go. Ooh, this is working well. There you go. There you are. Da, 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 da. Perfect. Excellent. So let's blot this down with the toilet paper. There you are. There you go. Microsol, of course. There we are. Yep. And now we put the Aztecs over top of the iridescent paneling, and we see what it looks like. If you can still see the iridescent paneling through the decal. Now, the shape is the indicator, see? Oh. The shape is the indicator. You see how that goes right there. So, pull it off the sheet. Come on, carefully. Lay it down right there. There you go. Da, 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 da. Excellent. There it is. It's down. Okay, so, oh, that's almost an absolutely perfect alignment too. There you go. So, put on the microsol, of course. Oh, that's brilliant. Look at that. And you can still see the iridescent panel through it. And the only difference is really an addition of gray rectangle about there. So now we turn it to the other side, and we add on the other decal, because the whole thing is soaked in the water, so we should be able to slide it off with ease. So right there. Pull, 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 pull. Slide it back a bit. Nudge it with a toothpick or something to get it into proper position. Moisten again with the water to see if it'll, there you go, good. Toilet paper again. There you are. There you go, perfect. Perfect, excellent. Yeah, they're good, 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 good. Okay, good. So, color the guide. Always color the guide to make it clear what goes where. There you are. Get a picture before you do anything else. There's the picture. And now we go for the long bars, which will be a lot easier to put on the top. Now keep in mind that I already put the light green underneath. So there's the picture between the decal with the gray versus just the light green. And as you can see, the iridescent panels are not obstructed one bit. The only addition is a grayish rectangle and some grid lines there. That's about all the difference you see. You can still see all those iridescent colors. And I'm going to take that picture And there you go. Okay, I'll be back. All right, I'm back. So as you see, the top is done. And you can see that here. Now, I made sure to align the gray with the decals properly, because you had the green. Oh, wait, did I misalign something slightly? Just a second. Oh, there is a slight misalignment, so let's get some wet water on there. Yes, I know that was a redundant sentence. Of course it was. There. That's better. Now it's aligned in its grid line, and just bring it over just slightly. Just a little more. Just a little more. Oh! Well, actually, da-da-da. There you go. Good. A little more, and boop. There you are. That's it. There you go. Okay, good. So now you can take the picture. And now, if I tilt it up, but my fingers are out of frame, and the camera stays steady, you just might be able to see everything. There you go. All right, so that's all I can do now. It's about 7:30. I'm going to start the CNN live stream for the debate. And I'll be back hopefully tomorrow with the top of the saucer. See you then. Bye-bye.